Spring has sprung. It's warm out here. The wind is blowing. The birds are chirping. It can only mean one thing. Car show season, people. I've got an interview and feature with a 700 plus horsepower Jeep that you will not want to miss. So come along to the Gaston County Shrine Club first annual Toy Drive Show and Shine. Sponsored by the Carolina Crawlers. Come on, let's go. I'm here with Josh. We're at the car show for the Gaston County Shrine Club. Josh, you brought an interesting Jeep here. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this is my little toy. I've had it for, I don't know, about 4 years now. It's just a 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon from the factory. Right. And it came completely stock, and as you can see, it's not anymore. So right now, I mean, we can start with the suspension here. So I got a double throwdown, and it is a triple bypass with a coilover and an air bump for inches to the frame. So we had to cut a hole in the frame, French that air bump in. We got compression adjustments, rebound adjustments. Basically, I did it so I can go fast through the desert and rock crawl. It handles that power pretty well. We got the Evo sway bars on here. We got the RPM steering, great steering from RPM. We got a PSC hydro assist, so it's hydraulic assist steering.
Right.
The JLs come with an electric power steering, and it is just not good for bigger tires.
Right.
So we took all that out, converted it back to a hydraulic pump and a bigger steering box, and now we can push these 40s in the rocks, and it does what it wants.
So let's get on to the tires.
Let's get on to the tires. So these are 40-inch Nitto trail grapplers,
right,
with a 17-inch KMC grenade crawl bead lock, so it's a true bead lock. Right. As you can see, I got lockout hubs, so I don't have the factory axles here. Right. These are Dana 60 and Dana 80 rear axle. But love these tires, get great mileage out of them. It's a great on and off-road tire.
Right, and you drive this on the road?
I daily drive it a lot more than I should. I actually have a shop in Charlotte, and I live in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I drive that about 3 times a week with this because it's just so fun to drive.
Yeah.
And I love it. And we did the swap last July, and I put 18,000 miles on this Jeep.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I drive a lot.
Keeping the roads busy.
I drive a lot, I do. So I guess this is the coup de grace, as you would say. So it's a 730 horsepower, 6.2 liter V8 supercharged Hellcat engine. 690 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to an 8 HP 95 Trackhawk transmission. I have a Cherokee Trackhawk, but it's both a crate motor and a crate transmission. Right. We also did paddle shifters on the steering wheel. She will boogie. She with the 37s, these are 40s I have on here now, like we said, but with the 37s, it'll do 0-60 in about 3.4 seconds.
Wow.
She's quick.
Nice.
We did a couple of neat things too for cooling on the trail. A lot of these are known for overheating a little bit when you put them in Jeep, so we did an engine oil cooler out front.
Right. And
then we did remote oil filter. So my oil filter sits right here behind the rear bumper. You can't see it too well, but it moves that out for more cooling. We did some, if you can see these little black spacers here, they're for heat shielding and for making the air more turbulent.
Right.
And then I also have, if you look in there, I also have a heat shield underneath the blower going down to the block, and it really helps. So did the leg maker's intake, carbon fiber intake, and that's off a Hellcat Red Eye. So I had to figure out which one would work.
Right.
A couple other trick things. So on the Hellcat Red Eyes, the cars, you can turn the air conditioning off on track mode and pump cold air into your intake.
Right.
Well, I ran my air conditioning condensing line around the intake, so when the top seals, the air gets cooler, hopefully going by it. So I don't know if it really works, but it's cool. This is freezing cold in the summer when you're running the air.
Right.
So yeah, and there's the reservoir for the PSC, and then.
So did you say what kind of horsepower it's putting out?
It's putting out 730 horsepower, 690 foot-pounds of torque. She'll outrun most Camaros, Mustangs, 0 to about 70.
Right.
From a dig, it's hard to beat because it hooks really good too with the big tires.
Oh, I bet so.
730, it's fun. Heck yeah. So we got a lot of other things on here.
Yeah.
We got some aluminum fenders from Genrite with a little bit better clearance.
Right.
We got moto-built rock sliders over here, so we can don't come down on those rocks and beat us up the body too much. But if he shows you, I already have. Got the Genrite aluminum half doors on here for more visibility.
Right.
They look cool too. I like the look. And for safety, right now we have the Rock Hard Sport Cage, so it strengthens your factory cage in the JL. So you get a strengthener bar for the windshield brace, you get an upper bar, and you get C-pillar braces if you use them, which is right here. So it actually adds a C-pillar where there's not one. and this will, I call it a one-time use cage. It will save your life once. And this also adds stability back and forth with for a harness bar. These are PRP racing seats. They actually have seat heaters in them, and they're ostrich.
Oh, nice.
Got my logo for my Instagram in them, Silicon 707.
Okay, all right.
Got the Italian stitch because I thought it looked more racy.
Right.
Here's those paddle shifters from the 392 steering wheel.
Yep.
The funny thing about that is if you own a JL and you have a Taser JL, which is like a super chip, like a programmer, you can buy the 392 steering wheel that goes in a Ringo 392, put it on, and then turn paddle shifting on. No matter what motor you have, and you can have paddle shifting.
Oh, awesome.
It's a cool little trick for people that didn't know.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So coming on around, I guess, more of the Generate fenders in the rear.
Yep.
Back here we got the anti-rock sway bars. We have those front and rear, so I love those. On the road, they give you a little more sway, but a better ride. Right. Off-road, they let you flex and do what you want to. You don't have to disconnect the sway bar. You don't have to do anything like that. You just pull off and go, and it lets you flex.
Oh, okay.
So we got the regular King coilovers here in the rear. They're 2.5 inch, just like the front, but I don't have a triple bypass. Just the rear coilovers, and we do have an air bump for inch into the frame.
Right.
2-inch hole saw, plate welded in, screw in the air bump, and then you have the lower joust for it to hit on. Right. So those are for those hard hits. Normally on a regular bump, you come down, it hits hard. With these, it slows you down like a shot.
Oh,
so you don't get those hard
so it
hits.
dampens it a lot.
Yeah, it's for speed. Yeah. So, and also, we'll talk about suspension. It's a 4-link long arm front and a 3-link long arm rear. Okay. So the rear has 1/3 upper link with a truss. You can probably see it from the back a little better. Yeah. But you see that upper link in there, it's gray. Yep. So yeah, and then we have the truss, and this is a Dana 80 rear axle. So 40 spline, 4-inch tube, half wall thickness on the tubes. Got an ARB air compressor, 538 gears, and this thing is ready to party. It will not break. It is a beefy axle. Yeah. It's probably the beefiest axle I could get. The front is a Ultimate Dana 60. Right. With 1550 U joints, 538 gears, and this actually has an E-locker in it. And it's a great axle too. I haven't had any problems. Right. I trailer this Jeep when we go out west to do that thing, so we actually welded on axle tabs right here. So you can hook your straps in, so you don't have to worry about axle straps when it's real muddy under here, because it actually does get used. Right. You can look at some of the damage, it gets used. But yeah, this Evo coilover setup, so off-road evolutions, and then rock crawler long arm. So I kind of have a Franken-lift, but to me, it's not about having all the same thing, it's about having the best of what you know is good. That's exactly so, and that's what I did. I paired what I think is the better arm and better suspension in the rear for less binding with the 3-link with the coilovers from King. So, and actually in the rear here we're running Chevy 3500 brakes. In the front we're running Ram 3500 brakes. So she's got plenty of stopping power. So if anybody had that question, it will stop. It'll stop on a dime.
Horsepower, you need that kind of stopping
That's
power.
right, that's right. So this is also a Rusty's rear fascia here. It's protection, so when you come down in these corners, it won't come up into the body.
Right, everything's beefed up.
Heck yeah. Cab fab rear fascia bumper. Yeah. We didn't talk about the bumper and the winch in the front. Right. Oh, while we're here. Yeah. So Moto-built skid system. So I had to find what would work with the Hellcat swap because not everything would. Right. So I did the Moto-built skid system. Even had to cut 1 inch off the front here so it would sit up the best it could. Cut it out here for the exhaust. Again on the other side. Just had to make little adjustments. And then custom. Yeah. So because you can see how big this oil pan is compared to like a factory when it's huge. So I had to find what would fit, and I did. Yeah. And that Moto-built stuff fits great, just like these. Great. And in the front we have an Evo 1/4 pounder with Stinger, and if people don't know what this is for, they help you from not flipping over forward. That's why that's there. When you get going steep and you hit the brakes, you're about to flip, that stops you from going forward. That's what these are for.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, why has he got that on there? Most of my lighting is Baja Designs. It's a great company. They light up the night. I mean, it's beautiful. And these are Morimoto 4-bangers. Yeah, Baja Designs knuckle lights. So those, when you turn your tires, they shine wherever your tires are turning. Yep, they point in the direction. Yeah. Yep, we have a Warren winch here, Xeon Platinum. Yeah. Warren's probably the best winch out. Right. Man, I really think that's about it. There's not a lot more.
You've covered it all. Well, I appreciate you doing the interview, man.
All right, if you got ticket number 204 or number 1, come see me.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.